Welcome to my next Walking Dead Dead City Season 2 episode review video, which I was able to watch the episode early on the Amazon Prime AMC channel this time. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am every watching or watching The Walking Dead Dead City, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, fun, if you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. If you're new to this YouTube channel or finding this YouTube channel out for the first time, welcome to the channel where I'm most known for talking about The Walking Dead, Dexter, and reacting to UFC fights, amongst other things. If that's something that you like and are interested in, I highly recommend that you subscribe to this channel and watch all of my content. At the end of this video, with about 20 seconds left to go at the end screen, I'll put different Walking Dead video playlists and links, as well as my most recent Dexter seasons ranked. Up in the corner there, I'll put my Walking Dead series finale review, rest in peace, although that's not really the Walking Dead series finale, but that was the finale of the main Walking Dead show. So if you want to familiarize yourself with my Walking Dead fandom, make sure you watch that video and some of my Walking Dead playlists, as well as if you're a Dexter fan, looking forward to Dexter Resurrection starting on July 11th, make sure you watch my most recent seasons ranked of Dexter. And obviously, I'm a big Walking Dead fan. The Walking Dead collectively is my favorite show of all time. I really like covering it. I know a lot of people have fallen off covering The Walking Dead, but I still cover it. So if you like The Walking Dead especially, make sure you still come back to this channel and check out all my reviews of Walking Dead content. This will be The Walking Dead Dead City Season 2, Episode 6. The title of this episode is called Bridge Players Are Hard to Come By These Days. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode, an episode that's directed by Lauren Cohan. We start with Maggie, Herschel, Ginny, and Pearlie. They're walking with Bruegel and members of Bruegel's group, and maybe some remaining members of New Babylon, if there are any, aside from Pearlie. And they're going to Bruegel's museum. And once they arrive at Bruegel's museum, a female that's kind of standing guard is actually grabbed and pulled away as we go into the intro for the episode. And then we have the Croat explaining what happened to Dama to Negan. He couldn't have saved her without endangering himself, and he says that she was delirious at that point. And he tells Negan the plan is to still go after New Babylon. The Croat says his family will be arriving tomorrow, Negan's family, based on a signal from last night. Now, who gave that signal is the question. Maggie asks Ginny if she's okay, and she says she just got sore from yesterday. Bruegel says if they want to go, they can go, but they aren't leaving on an empty stomach. And then Bruegel says there's nothing he'd like more than to be colonized by them, but he still wants the methane. And then we have an unnamed female is brought in. It's the female that was standing guard and is badly beat up. And Bruegel wonders who did this to you, and the female's really not responsive, even though she's still alive. And then Bruegel uses his watch blade to kill her and put her down. And then we have the Croat is very upset about Dama's death, saying it was his fault. He could have helped her, but he would have endangered himself if he did. Now you'll be leaving too. And Negan says, well, who says you have to stay? Now that Dama's gone, you can do whatever you want, even though I'm leaving. Pearlie talks to Maggie about teaming with Bruegel, which Maggie is completely against, and Pearlie says, let's sleep on it. Negan and the Croat have a cigarette. He tells Negan if he can go anywhere, or Negan asks Croat if he could go anywhere, where would it be? And he says, Croatia, go back home. He says, come with me, Negan. And Negan tells the Croat he can't. And then Croat notices the bottom of Negan's boot, and he kind of looks at that for a while, and like there's an ominous like tension at that point, and Negan knows that he looked at it because he has like steel-toe boots at the bottom there. And then back with all the other people, part of Croat's group, Negan, he realizes that Negan put the rat in his head at Christo's place. When they were walking, Negan mentioned the rat and all that. And then Croat actually hits Negan with Lucio a few times. You used me! You lied to me! And then during this altercation, Negan is able to get Lucille from Croat. I saved you from her! You should be thanking me! Your whole goddamn persona is because of me. Tell me I'm wrong. Call me a liar. And Croat says, it's true. You made me what I am. And then Negan tells Croat to go and don't ever come back, and then Croat leaves. I don't know why I'm imitating their voices, but it's kind of fun. Ginny is wiping her wound down, and Maggie tells her that Herschel and her will be heading back to the bricks, hoping that you'll join us. Maggie asks Ginny, do you know how many times I've thought about killing Negan? Every time I look at you, I see me looking back. And we have Negan, who puts Lucille back in his cell and hears a noise, so he goes to investigate, and he finds like that historian guy, Benjamin Pierce, is in like solitary confinement, and he puts him in a cell instead of, not chained up or anything, but puts him in a cell, and he tells him that he's free to go, and he tells Negan he wouldn't have the first clue on how to get where he wants to go. And then Negan mentions to him what he used to do in the past, and he feels like he left his people twisted and broken, even though he didn't kill them. And he tells him, welcome to the Winner's Circle, kid. Herschel cuts open a live walker and puts the blood that drains from the walker into a canteen. And he was actually going to dump that canteen into the water supply of Bruegel's place. And then Maggie catches him in the act of about to do that. And then she talks to him, and Herschel gets mad and like, I don't want to be here, I want to leave. And then Herschel goes to leave. And then there's a bear that wants to get into Bruegel's museum, and eventually the bear does get into Bruegel's museum. Maggie frees Bruegel's walkers to go after the bear, but unfortunately for Maggie, the bear makes short work of those walkers. And the bear is actually about to get Maggie and take care of Maggie, and then Herschel throws some of his knives at it. And then the bear ends up dying when Maggie kind of goes into the octagon, the makeshift octagon they have, and she's like under it, and the bear kind of tries to climb over and gets stabbed by one of the spikes or whatever you want to call it on that. So Maggie leaves Bruegel's museum and ventures out. She goes to Negan's, or, the Dama, Croat, whatever. She's looking for Herschel, and Negan tells Maggie that Dama's dead. Burned to death. And Negan says he wasn't lying about his situation. He figured it out and all. Maggie says, you always do. And then Negan tells Maggie that Herschel might be at King Francis Theater. Maggie tells Negan that Bruegel's coming for him. And then Negan asks, how's Ginny? And then Negan actually asks Maggie for advice when it comes to Annie and Joshua, as everything that Negan seems to do puts them in more jeopardy. And then Maggie leaves without answering his question. Pearlie tells Ginny he guesses Maggie and Herschel are gone. And then Negan's told that Annie and Joshua are here because it's the next day, and he looks out and sees Annie and Joshua, although we don't get really close up of Annie. I don't know if that was actually the actress that played Annie in season 11 of The Walking Dead. I think it was, but I'm not 100% sure. And then Negan says to tell them to turn back around and go back. Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying to you? Bruegel is playing bridge by himself, and Pearlie comes in. He's like, you know how to play bridge? And he starts explaining it. He's like, yeah, my grandma taught me it. And Bruegel shows him a walker, a turned Narvaez. He learned all about Pearlie's history of him saying that he killed Negan, and then he didn't, from Narvaez before Narvaez turned. And he says that he's going to get the methane. That's all he really cares about. And then he kills Walker Narvaez. Or Lucia, some people call her, but they only called her in like the talking about the episode Narvaez, so I don't know, that's what I've been calling her. And then we end the episode with Ginny pointing a gun at Negan. He doesn't try and stop her, and then Ginny just kind of faints or passes out. And then Negan, as he lays her down, he first hugs her, and then as he lays her down, he sees the wound that she has, and it looks like it's infected or something even worse, or maybe that water was infected with Walker blood. I don't know, but that's what ends this episode of The Walking Dead, Dead City. So, pretty good episode, although they're moving at a slower pace. And I don't know, maybe I've just seen too much of The Walking Dead. I still like it, but I feel like I'm more annoyed with these. But we'll see. I mean, I had to watch commercials because I had to watch, of course, like I mentioned, on Amazon Prime, because the YouTube AMC Plus channel didn't have it for some reason, which is surprising. So, I had to keep watching commercials, like 5 sets of commercials, so that's why I'm late with this review instead of doing it right after the episode aired. So I'm going to give the episode an 8.6 out of 10. My character of the episode, obviously Negan was the standout in this episode, but if I had to choose somebody else, I would go with the Croat. He was pretty significant in this. I mean, Bruegel had his moments, Pearlie had his moments, but the whole thing with the Croat beating Negan out with Lucille, that was something that we hadn't seen before, and we saw it, although he didn't get the upper hand for long until Negan grabbed Lucille away and then hit him a few times with it. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead or anything Walking Dead related, Dexter related, or UFC fight reactions, or anything else, make sure that you help me out with the algorithm by Hulk smashing the like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this review of The Walking Dead Dead City. What do you think of my thoughts? What would you score the episode? Who would you choose as a character of the episode? Somebody potentially different than Negan and Maggie, because they're the character of every episode. Remember to click on the links that I'll put here at the end of the video, my Walking Dead series finale review, although it's not really the series finale. There's more Walking Dead that's come. Rest in peace. Make sure you check that out. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100K subscribers. Join the team. Show your damn support and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.